Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show where we believe ads are not bad, ignorance is expensive, and the American dream is alive and well on the internet today. It is Friday, March 13th, 2026. We're brought to you by Incense, Seguno, Postscript, and AMP, and we have got a jam-packed show for you today. Talk Shop Live is bringing live selling to your Shopify store and everywhere else on the internet. Their CEO has data that says live shoppers will spend 20 to 30% above your average order value. We're going to get into this article. Manus is deeply integrated into Instagram now, and it's time to get wired up and scale thy accounts unto the moon. We're going to be joined by Thomas Lalas, the world's #1 retention marketer, Lucas Hazan, Renaissance businessman and partner at Happy Labs, and last but surely not least, Carson Dimond, the man to talk to when you need to find top-tier e-com talent. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here. Get inside of this show, Colin.
Let's go. Let's go.
Boy. Colin, you come to us from an undisclosed location today that is different than normal. Are you well? Are you okay? Are you being held hostage?
I am being held hostage. New undisclosed location. Internet went out at the main disclosed location. We had to pivot. We had to make a pivot. But that's the thing. This show doesn't stop. We keep going.
It does not stop. And the good news is that despite what's happening in AI, there are still D2C brands that are hiring humans. It is time to join one of our most exciting segments of the week. Jack, I want you to put up the overlay, and I am going to hit the button. Let's see if we can do this together. 1, 2, 3. It's time for Hot Jobs, baby.
Caliente.
Caliente. Caliente, baby. That is awesome. Okay, our first job that I was very excited about. I don't know. Have you heard of Tire Sport? TYR Sport. They're famous when it's not, am I saying that right? I think I'm saying that right. Tire, TYR. They're famous when it comes to swimming, and I've got all of these models and athletes who are always wearing all of their things. Director of e-commerce and Amazon Marketplace. Let me give you some details on this. Owns revenue, merchandising, performance, demand, execution across tiers D2C, Shopify Plus, and Amazon Marketplace businesses globally, including responsibility for the EU. Senior operating role, accountable for translating product, category, and brand strategy into measurable commercial results. This job is on-site in Farmingdale, New York. Pay is nice. We're talking 175 to 200. This one I find, maybe especially because I'm an athlete, I find this one to be exciting. What do you think about this one?
I swam for 13 years, and so I know
TYR. Really?
I did. So I know TYR really intimately. They make phenomenal suits. This is a great opportunity for anyone that wants to basically dive into, really great partnerships for collegiate athletes. They're regarded as a really premium option. I would say the salary for a New York salary isn't quite there. There should be a little bit more. You have to account for the fact that 40% of that New York salary is going to be taxed. And
no,
probably around that. I would say around that.
Is that true?
Yeah, New York City taxes are no joke.
Oh my gosh.
But really great opportunity here, and a really staple legacy brand within the swimming community.
Farmingdale, yeah, Farmingdale is basically on Long Island. Wow. I had no clue about the 40% tax. Oh
yeah, it's no fun. And it's only going up.
Yeah, well, move to Texas. Okay, next next role,
or North Carolina. We're the same.
Or North Carolina. Yeah. Senior manager of e-com operations and product management at True Religion. Do you remember True Religion? The jeans.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
Okay, they're doing a big collab with Megan Thee Stallion right now, so
Nice.
I went ahead and put that one on here. Let me give you
Yeah.
some details on this. Responsible for driving a seamless customer-first digital experience by aligning e-com ops with product and platform strategy. Role owns both day-to-day operational excellence and evolution of the e-com roadmap, ensuring the platform performs reliably today while continuing to scale and improve for the future. This is on site in El Segundo, California, pays
Nice.
120 to 140. I mean, I think the brand is great for the
Sure.
resume, especially, given their legacy of kind of disrupting the denim scene. What do you think about this one?
This is cool. I mean, I can give you the exact job you should do for this role, which is basically put Megan the Stallion in the jeans, take photos of Megan the Stallion, following day, repeat day you just had, and then just keep doing that. That's all you really have to do.
That is exactly what they're doing on the homepage. So I
Yeah.
think
Hey,
I think
there
there's
you go.
a well-established strategy there
Yeah.
that is probably working for them.
We don't have to
Uh,
overthink this one, folks. It's just give Megan the Stallion all the True Religion jeans and just have her force feed you content every single
Yeah,
day.
I think that's the move, especially because you've got a top tier celebrity. So why not?
Yeah. She's massive.
Um, yeah, she is. She's huge. She's huge. Very large following. I think this next one is going to be the one you like the most. E-commerce manager for Bureau,
So
which
sick.
is the non-alcoholic brand of Tom Holland,
Yeah.
another celebrity, owner of a beverage brand. Let me give you some details on this. Seeking a detail-driven e-com manager with Shopify and digital commerce experience. Role combines product and project management, technical configuration, and analytics to ensure a seamless, high-performing shopping experience across markets. They want 5+ years experience here. This is on site in the NYC metro area. Salary comes in at 110.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think this is an exciting brand to work with, but they may need to offer a little higher if they want somebody that
Yeah.
can do all of these things, especially in NYC. Is that crazy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're gonna have to, you know, give you a couple more dollars for this. I really love this brand because I think
Great brand.
a lot of the times we have issues with celebrity brands where they're not really connected to the true mission of the brand itself. Tom Holland's been very open about his issues that he's had before. He kind of birthed this as a result of that, and he's been throwing his support and his face in front of this brand nonstop. And so you have
Yeah.
a celebrity founder that's super, super bought in. I would kind of equate it to, Chamberlain Coffee. That is kind of the
Yeah.
level bought into this. On top of that, you can kind of see the trajectory with how Athletic Brewing has done its scale right now in
Oh
fundraising,
no.
where this is basically a mini version of that, and then you throw Tom Holland on top of it. Who doesn't love Tom Holland? Big fan.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going up and to the right, and, macro trends are pointing to nothing but that.
I think if I were 5 years into e-commerce, I
Yeah.
would I would just
Yeah.
jump at this one and try to get this on my resume because
Yeah.
this is one of those roles where if you get it and you land it, everybody knows it and loves it. And
Yep.
maybe you don't have to stay forever necessarily. Maybe you do. Maybe you become CMO someday. But
Yeah.
if you don't, you've still got a great icon and logo on your resume and probably lead to further opportunities down the road. That's honestly how I would think
Also,
about it.
on top of this too, even though the salary isn't amazing right now, the growth trajectory of this and being a
Oh,
part of that,
yeah.
2 or 3 years from now, I can promise you the salary you're gonna get is gonna be pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Get in there
Yeah,
and crush it. Crush it for
crush it, exactly.
Spider-Man. Get in there and crush for Spider-Man. Do it
Let's
for
go.
Spider-Man. With great
Do
power
it.
comes great responsibility.
Comes
Um,
great beer.
Next role, I don't know why this is so NYC focused today, but next role, manager of CX for Kate Spade, New
Interesting.
York. Anybody that likes to be involved in the fashion realm, probably excited about this one. Let me give you some details. Own the strategic interpretation and analysis of all post-purchase customer signals to inform our global customer experience strategy and support the director and project management of omni experience initiatives. The role is ideal for someone with strong analytical rigor and proven experience transforming data from multiple sources, including surveys, transactional behavior, and third-party partners into insights that guide business decisions. This is a hybrid role. NYC, salaries coming in at $100 flat. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah. Again, this is a legacy brand. They've been around for a while
Legacy.
now. You are really making your name for yourself in a staple brand, and this is one of those resume builders. You're not going here for a massive salary, especially given the New York City limitations. You're going here for 1 to 2 years saying, I, manage CX at Kate Spade, and everyone knows that.
I think the last role is the one I'm most excited about. Head
Okay.
of e-commerce at Posh Peanut. Have you ever
Nice.
heard of Posh Peanut?
I have. I've seen their metrics.
Yeah. Oh, you have. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've peeked behind the curtain before.
You've been inside. You've been inside the cupboard there.
I have.
You've seen what's going on behind the
Yeah.
veil. Well, head of e-commerce to own and evolve Posh Peanut's digital flagship. Great verbiage, by the way. This leader is responsible for the daily health of the site while shaping the roadmap that drives growth, profitability, and customer loyalty, blend strategy, and hands-on execution. Glendale, CA, beautiful place. 200 to 250K, but they're looking for 10. They're looking for 10 years of experience here. So that is going to negate. That's going to negate a lot of people. That basically means you need to have done this since 2016. You need to have done this since Trump 1.0. Okay, you need to have been ecom for a good amount of time. But I like this role, and I mean, you sell beautiful baby clothes that the whole family can wear. I mean, there's plenty of moms that want to buy them.
This is huge. I love this, and I love the fact that this brand also operates on a drop model pretty aggressively. So you have to be prepared for that, where they're removing and re-inventorying really quickly, and so it's a little bit of a different change from the traditional e-commerce life cycle for how they're doing things. And I love this. I mean, I'm a huge fan of this. This is a really sweet role.
What I have seen a lot of these kind of children's clothes companies step into is clothing the entire family, which is really smart. It's really smart, especially for like dressing up for Valentine's Day and dressing up for Easter and for Christmas. Now we've all got matching pajamas. And I think that's so smart. Obviously, Posh Peanut is doing the same. Talk about an incredible way to increase your AOV. Just sell clothes to the entire set, mom, dad, and your plethora of 6+ children. I mean, you do that, then you're bound to bring in a few more dollars, and reporting is going to look a little nicer. I think that's really smart of them.
Who is pushing that demand? Is it the parents, or is it the kids wanting the parents to match, or is it the parents wanting to match with their kids?
Bro, there is one person inside the household who is pushing. It's mama. Mama is the one who's pushing for that. It is mama, the one who controls the wallet. That is who is pushing for that endeavor. And, do the kids love it when they roll out and it's time to take Christmas photos? Of course they do. But it's mama that wants to make that moment.
That's fair.
That.
Yeah.
I like this. Well, hey, hottest jobs on the internet. Make a way, make a friend, find your way in, send a LinkedIn connection, go 2 or 3 levels deep. Time to contact your second cousin and figure out who you know there. Don't just send in a resume. You got to get after it, get a little nitty gritty to get these top opportunities out there. We have Thomas Lalas coming in, but before he comes, we need to talk about Postscript. Ladies and gentlemen, focus is an amazing thing. And when you focus, you get outsized results. That's why Postscript does so well on SMS. On when people make the switch on average, see a plus 22% increase in revenue. Now, I did not see that. I saw a whole lot more when I made the switch. We went from making very little money on SMS to being a top 1% account on their entire platform inside of a year. What did I do? I just did what they said, and that was a big help. They're the only SMS partner I know in our game who's endeavoring to make SMS your #1 revenue generator. If you go to postscript.io/SMS-benchmarks, they give you great numbers on your vertical, your revenue band, which you should be doing on SMS, help you get up and to the right. Many thanks for Postscript being part of the show. Now, we need to bring in an author. An author. How many authors do we have inside of ecom D2C? I mean, we've got one coming on the show right now. He's the author of Retention Economics. He's worked with all of the subscription darlings inside of our game. Everyday Dose, Physician's Choice, Dose Daily, Rise Superfoods, AOV. I mean, you just keep going on and on and on. And now he is also launching his own product. That's word on the street. I'm talking about the world's #1 retention marketer, the one and only Thomas Lalas. Get in here, Thomas. Get in here.
What an intro. Yeah. What an intro.
Oh,
we've got to do that for you, man. You are well deserving, and we love your accent, by the way.
Can you see I'm blushing? Can you see my red?
We can, but that's what we try to do. We try to have that effect, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thomas, man, we appreciate you making the time and coming on here. I would love just to start this conversation off if you would set just some foundation for us. Brother, we all talk and spend so much effort on acquisition inside of ecom, but probably the $1 billion question is, how do we get them from purchase #1 to purchase #2? That's really probably the $1 billion question. Man, why do we neglect that in lieu of always focusing on get the new customer? Why do we neglect getting people from purchase #1 to purchase #2?
Great question. Just to start, this is a big question. I mean, it's worth billions of dollars, and I can't really tell you that I have the ultimate answer, because there are a few theories I have in mind. Like, this is what I keep thinking all the time. You know, what is the role of retention, LTV, acquisition? And there are so many unanswered questions. #1, everything we're doing in terms of subscriptions, repeat purchases, the back end, it's in its infancy. I mean, ecom, it's still a baby. I would say most brands that we know now, they boomed around COVID.
Yeah.
People had to get stuff, you know, at home, and subscriptions and then ecom businesses, they boomed over there. Shopify started growing extremely fast during COVID, right?
Yeah.
How many years ago is that? Like 6?
Yeah, it's like 6 years ago.
Like people that were in charge of retention at that time, they didn't have a ton of data. Recharge was way smaller, you know, Skio was probably not even around. Like, it's just a baby. So we don't quite know how to answer questions that have just appeared, right? Like, even I've been in marketing for 16 years, and when I started, Shopify was not around. Like, the whole thing is very small. You know,
it's a great point.
But of course, we don't have answers to all of these things. But again, the #1 thing that is easy to grow and you get direct feedback and you get the numbers right now is acquisition. Yeah. Anyone can promise 2.5 ROAS, right? Yeah. But if somebody promises, hey, your ROAS is going to be 0.7, you're going to be like, so I'm losing money. Yeah. I'm losing money for the next 2-3 months. Yes. Right? Nobody's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to give you my account. It's not easy to sell. Unless you can prove that you can lose money now, but then you make 3 times more on the back end. Exactly. How many people can actually confidently prove this with data so they can get your business?
Yeah.
It's difficult. Wow. Retention is it's a long-term game, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, imagine you're Colin, you've been interviewed for the book, right? Like you probably understand a lot of things that were on the same page. Like, immediately thought about drop shippers. Anyone can start a brand right now with somebody else's product. They just do the marketing. They need to make things work on the front end. Like basically, literally, this business is you don't make money right now, you are out of business. So, of course, people will not take care of the back end. They want to make sure they survive to see another day.
Right.
But the brands that start building something on the back end, this is the brands that are selling for 10 figures now. Like for me, the goal is to eventually be a part of as many billion-dollar acquisitions that I can.
Yeah, it's a great goal.
I've recently been hired by a 9-figure brand to help them multiply the hundreds of millions of extra dollars they're going to sell the company for. Yeah. They've been running to 9 figures for a few years, and now how can we take all this, the customer portfolio that we have stock portfolio, want to maximize returns. We have a customer portfolio, and how do we maximize the returns so that the future buyer, the acquirer, eventually pays hundreds of additional millions of dollars in exit? So it's a difficult question to answer. There's a lot of theories, but this is where the money is. Honestly,
it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense why retention is still in its nascent form, data wise and all. I mean, that makes a ton of sense. Go ahead, Colin.
Well, Chris knows this. I absolutely love all of this because I'm seeing right now, and what I've just been seeing from the ecosystem from the past, I would say 2 to 3 years, is all of these subscription companies that nailed it and did it really right. They're now exiting on multiple figures.
Yeah.
Up and to the right. I mean, everyone uses the darling of Gruns right now, which is 0 to 500 million in 2 years. I don't think we've had a brand do that. And a lot of that is facilitated with the subscription. How are you kind of looking at other brands and seeing, the best practices that brands should be doing, where you'll see a brand and you're saying, God, they should be doing 1, 2, or 3 things that they're just missing straight out of the gate. Do you have any of those best practices?
Yeah, like I'm always very careful when it comes to best practices, because they're usually like sound looking sound bites. They feel safe, they feel right, but some of these things that people are preaching, they're totally wrong. For me, having worked with multiple 9-figure brands, 3 things come to mind. Number 1 is the offer itself. You can have an amazing product, but the offer, the way you position it, is always the number 1 thing that I can see. I don't need to have access to your backend data to understand your LTV, but if I see your offer, the way you're selling the product, I can tell you right away if you can scale this or not. Wow. Because you're ideally looking for the most quality traffic, meaning channel, creative, to come to the right offer, and then for these people to buy a second, a 4th, and a 12th time. Because these are the milestones. Did they buy again a second time, where you double basically the LTV on the spot? Did they buy a 4th time? Because on the 4th time is where churn slows down, especially for subscription brands. You can see that there is a drop off for the first 3 months. They buy a 4th time. On the 5th time onwards, is safe to say that these people will buy again, very likely. Wow. And then what is the 12th purchase retention? How many people stick for a year? And I know I can tell you brands. I know there are 10 brands that are higher than 20%, 20, 25%.
Really?
Yes. Gruns is not a
wild.
Gruns is not at 20 or 25%. They're lower than this, but they have great retention overall. But there are brands that are killing it, especially they're in CPG space, right? Health and wellness and consumables. But overall, these are the numbers. And if I have the numbers, I even created a simulator that basically tells you how many millions you're losing if you don't improve your retention by even 10%. And usually it's tens of millions of additional revenue. So number 1 is the offer, making sure you have enough conversions coming in, but going through an offer that is scalable. And every time I will look into how you present your subscription cadence with the product quantity and the usage of the product. If you're, all right, so I'm not going to sponsor the brand, but say this is a brand's, I'm going to hide the logo.
There we go.
Magnesium pills, right, to improve your sleep. If you're supposed to take 1 a day, but you have a subscription cadence of 60 days, you're losing money. This should have been 30 days. But if you try to sell them twice a day, although they were supposed to take one a day, you're basically pushing them for a product they don't need. If you have 15 and you're mismatching the quantity, the cadence they need to use the product, and the billing cadence, then you're losing money. If you're selling too much up front and you're billing them 2 weeks later, of course they're going to cancel. It's baked into the offer itself.
Yeah.
So these are the three things I always look into, and I'm trying to understand how easy it is for somebody to buy. You see, like Everyday Dose, a company I used to work full-time for, you can see there's just one option. You click the button and you buy. You don't need to select the cadence and change. Like that's the thing, and it's easy. Maybe there's one more option, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 30 servings, 60 servings, 90 servings, like upselling in the same period of time, depending on the product. But it's just easy. It's an easy decision, right? You maximize conversions. Then the second thing is what happens the first 30 days. That's the second thing where I'm always optimizing. Literally, I've built a company that is, I'm not going to share figures, but it's doing pretty well. And we are just doing that. We're installing post-purchase retention and LTV first systems. We're onboarding people. We're helping them reduce their skepticism initially. If you're a first-time buyer, everything is subscription nowadays. Yeah. You're thinking, what do I start canceling? You're not even thinking, do I need this product? Like, I have so many subscriptions, I need to cancel a few. The monthly bill is getting higher and higher. Which ones go first? Right? And this is going to get even stronger. So the question is, how do you onboard people in the first 30 days and then the first 90 days where most churn happens? We have systems for this, and people are they're discovering things. Everybody, usually the agencies are like, let's build something custom. We have a winning formula so far. We're very proud to see that. 100% success story so far, right?
Wow.
And now I've built a team of people that are doing the same things that I'm doing, and we're collecting results. So far, so good. Every time my team has built the things that I was going to build, we've seen success so far, and we start collecting data.
Love it.
So first 90 days, first 30 days, and then what happens the first year? What is the long-term stickiness of the product? Because if people buy the first 4 months, but then crickets, goes down to 5%, I can tell you there is at least one $500 million company that is my go-to example. They are gaming the first month's worth of retention, but then eventually people give up, right? They can't sell right now. They're making $500 million a year. They can't sell. Or they can't sell, at least for the valuation they're hoping for. Everything goes, the valuation is in the long-term retention. What does it look like 12 months, 18 months now? So these are the things that I always optimize for, and I have a specific RFM-based reactivation strategy for the long term. When somebody's predicted to churn, you reach out to them with the right message at the right time, not just email or SMS, the basic channels, but many other channels. But anyway, these are the three points. Offer the first 30 days / 90 days, and then the first 12 months. These are the crucial points. You get them right, you can sell for $1 billion.
Thomas, you've got this thing boiled down to a science. I think there's art to it too, but the more that you talk, when you talk about, you've got prediction capabilities for what's going on with this customer, when they would quit, when they would churn, etc. And you got this playbook on 30, 90, a year. I've also heard you talk a lot about the first 14 days. Is that true? I've heard you talk a lot about that. You don't have to go full open kimono, but if you could just sprinkle a little bit, just a little teeth on that, because I know there's definitely things we should be doing post-purchase, especially subscription, that we're not collectively. E-com is just not. It's like, great, I got the sale, thank you, and then goodbye. What should we be doing in those first 14 days specifically?
Yeah, I'm always kind of like likening this with, hey, you go out, you try to impress them with great creative and strategy and the offers and the website, and then you ghost them.
Yeah.
Like, think about this as a date. Like, do you expect to get married when so it's kind of wild to me that this is not common sense, that you do email the person, you do message the person, you send the SMS, you're being transparent about it. It kind of makes no sense to me when people are trying to game the system, like to get the accidental renewal where Like, okay, I got the sale. I'm going to hide now. They will forget they're in a subscription, and they might get revealed again. Like there is it's down to science. There is a histogram of the biggest points where people churn, and probably you can guess. Number 3 is the same day where they bought. They buy the subscription, they want the freebies, they want the discount, right? And then they cancel. They don't have strong intent. This is a little spike. Everything else just ups and downs. The second spike, you can probably also guess, the billing reminder. Hey, you're going to be charged again in 3 days or in 6 days, right? Big spike. And then, smaller spikes the next days. But the number one spike is always the day you get rebilled. Because some people will never open the email, they never see the SMS, maybe you don't send them at all, right? And they see somebody charge me, oh, that was a subscription. And then they cancel. Big spike. And every time it repeats, it's smaller scale every month, right?
Yeah.
But how do you take care of this in the first 14 days? Because the first 14 days is where most people decide if they want to stay or not. The difficult thing with brands that promise a benefit is the gap between actually people feeling the benefit versus, while they're waiting. So the psychology initially is like, is this going to work for me? Are there any other better options? Did I overpay for this? There are 5 questions. If you go on my LinkedIn, even, the CEO of Recharge posted about these 5 questions, right? There are the 5 questions in the book as well. So overall, people are skeptical. Because they bought for the first time, it doesn't mean they're going to stay. So your goal before delivery is to reduce the skepticism and to make them feel additional perceived value. If you have any freebies, if you have a community, if you have something extra, you provide it over there. People feel like, yeah, I've done the right choice. I've made the right decision. And then they receive the thing. That's a peak of enthusiasm. They receive the box. They open it, right? This is the moment we can start using the product. And you need to start onboarding them. Because if they don't use it, they don't build the habit. You're about to build them again. They have too much product left. And they will pause, skip, or cancel.
Yeah.
And it's your fault, dear brand, listening, because you never onboarded them. You never told them when they should be expecting the results, how long it takes, right? So they don't have too many expectations when it takes weeks. You never showed them the value of cadence, of consistently using the product every day, building a habit, making it a part of their life. You never busted any myths, and you never showed them how their lifestyle overall affects the benefits of the product. So proper onboarding has not been done, and you expect people by themselves to figure things out. It's just like going to the doctor and expecting that the doctor will say nothing. They will hand you the product. This is the solution. Figure out how you need to use it to get, rid of that pain, persistent pain. They tell you exactly what you need to do. You take this in the morning, in the evening for 14 days, then you come back for an evaluation and you do it. That's how brands need to think. So the first 14 days, I've seen, like, we can go down to science, like this is literally what we're doing every day, but they're super important. Pre-delivery skepticism, and then post-delivery onboarding. 14 days, you nail them, you influence them to stay for another month. And if they do, the product can work and they can see the benefits, and then they know what they're going to stay because they feel the benefits in their body and their mind and feel great about it.
I think this concept of onboarding, I think is a great framing. It's great framing for what we need to do post-purchase, before they get it and after they get it. And I don't think that we're largely conscious of this. I don't think so. I mean, is that fair, Colin? I think this is a great framing for what we need to be doing post-purchase with our customers.
Absolutely. And Thomas, I'm hearing a ton about, the health and wellness category from you. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on categories that are absolutely primed for this. I mean, just if you take a look at Him's P&L and dive in there, and I'm a math nerd, the amount of cash that Hims is spitting off and free cash flow from LTV and subscription is absurd. And so there are these categories that I've kind of been seeing where it's like, this is unbelievable, the LTV. Are there any categories that you're seeing as well?
Overall, I'm studying this right now. A big data nerd as well. I visit the US in a few weeks, and I'm gonna have a T-shirt that says "Data is my love language." Like,
All right, all
I
right.
wanted to go to a conference where I have this T-shirt. You know, it sums up who I am. So
That's
right
awesome.
now, there is a few things that I'm studying. You know, quantitatively, just getting statistical significance and understanding how things relate to overall retention and LTV. But there are some verticals that are more primed for high LTV, and I'll tell you, like the frequency of seeing brands that are huge, like more than 9 figures, and a vertical is pretty evident. So number one, anything related to pets, they have really strong LTV. I've seen huge brands, or brands that are smaller, but their LTV is strong, right? So they just need to scale acquisition. So pets is a great niche. Anything that relates to kids is also extremely great in terms of like you see the LTV of these brands like growing, right? So these are two verticals where the user is not the buyer.
Yeah.
You're buying for your kid or you're buying for your pet, right? But once you're in there, that's it. Your pet cannot say, your pet will probably not eat the thing if it's unpleasant. So all you need to do is just find a way to disguise it. That's it. With your kids, it might be even more difficult, right? So there are specific problems you need to solve. But when it comes to other categories where the product is not sticky enough, or at least it's not an existing part of people's lives, like I would say a buddy of mine launched a hydration brand, right? People need to be educated. There needs to be some kind of education on why you need to be hydrated. And that means every single ad is building the vertical overall. But for example, I work with Everyday Dose and Rise and Mud Water and Clever Blends. This is coffee, right? Coffee is already sticky. Like you know how to drink coffee, you know how to drink tea. Now you're getting a better alternative for this, right? So this is more prime for, stronger retention. Like there are things that where you need to educate people. There are things where people are already educated. So when it comes to weight loss, for example, it's always difficult to break a weight loss brand because people don't see results and they need a lot of discipline. While drinking your coffee, it doesn't need any discipline, right? You just do the thing. You just do it naturally. So look at the stickiness, the natural stickiness of the product, and who consumes the product. Usually is the person buying, right? But if you buy for yourself and your family, and you can offer this as an offer, amazing. Like you've increased the stickiness because your whole household uses this. So,
Thomas, the more you talk, the more I am convinced that you naturally see the world through your study, through retention glasses. You've got glasses on that are AOV and LTV and offer based and all of these things. And of course, we appreciate you making the time and coming on here. We need to have you back, but I know that you've got more in your bag. Man, would you take 20, 30 seconds? Tell us about the book. Tell us where people can find you, learn from you more. Tell us where they can work with you, maybe, hopefully. Man, just give us perspective on that side before we get you out of here.
Right. So the book is Retention Economics, and it's already been read by more than 1,000 people. It launched in September, and in 6 months, some people said it's an instant classic. I've built together like all the logos of the tech platforms and the great agencies and the brands that have read it, and I was impressed. I'm like, wow, this is an impressive portfolio, right? So I'm going to put it on the website. Do read it. It costs as much as it takes for me to print it and ship it to you. I make zero money, but the insights are definitely worth at least 6 figures, especially if you're a bigger brand. It could be worth millions. Right, so read the whole book. You have nothing to lose. It costs nothing. Number 2, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm there. I'm getting more active. I don't like posting content, but I start posting on LinkedIn, and I'm going to start a YouTube channel. That's my backdrop.
All right,
that's my real backdrop. The book is missing from there.
All right.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. Thomas Lalas. That's the name of the screen. And if you want to work with me, or if you have a retention problem, or if you don't have a retention problem but you don't know it yet, reach out to me, send me a message on LinkedIn and say hi, and we can take it from there.
We love it, man. We can tell that you've got all this big brain retention marketing baked into your brain, and we look forward to having you back and talking more, my friend. We appreciate you.
Anytime. I would love to see this beard, and I would love to see Colin as well.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have got Lucas Hazan coming in here hot. But before he comes, we need to talk about incense. Ladies and gentlemen, we all want ads, and we want great ads, right? That humans help and touch. But you know that the process for this is so disjointed. Actually getting helpful humans to help you create manually negotiating usage rights. It's such a headache. That's why incense exists. It is the all-in-one UGC and influencer marketer platform that actually makes creative scalable, a vetted creator marketplace, automated influencer outreach, built-in campaign management. You can get content in as little as 14 days. And this is so much better than just trying to find a random TikTok that you hope takes your brand to the moon. It's building real relationships with human creators and getting real assets that are going to help you scale. Go to incense.pro, test drive the platform for free. Okay, get in there. Work it out. If you don't have the bandwidth on your team, you can even use their managed service. Many thanks for Incense being part of the show. Go test drive that thing. Now, the person who's coming in here, I would call him a Renaissance businessman. Is that fair, Colin? I mean, the guy has been everywhere and done everything. He's built in hardware. He's worked in software. He's a software engineer. He launched Platables, which is with D2C dog food brand, several experiences in venture as a fellow, now sourcing deals. Now he's a partner at Happy Labs, and he's building Noct, N-O-K-T, sleeping gummies. I'm talking about the one and only Lucas Hazan. Lucas, get in here. Get in here, Lucas.
Let's go, Lucas. Go.
Well, my camera's not working. What's going on?
Oh, here we go. We got you now.
Yeah.
We got you now, brother. Welcome to the show, man. We're glad that you are joining us. Man, I just realized that I have been seeing all of your content, Lucas, on X or Twitter, whatever you like to call it. And I've been seeing your content for forever. I did not know that you were the man behind Noct. I mean, how long has Noct been with us and been among us? This is a new development for me. I didn't know that you were connected to it.
Yeah, no, I've been working. I think my camera is like freaking out. Am I like really slow right now, or what's going on here?
You are a little slow.
Delayed. Yeah,
let me
close some tabs real quick. I apologize.
It's okay. And you know what, Lucas, if you need a little time to troubleshoot it, brother, we can just bring you right back. You can go away.
We'll bring you right back. We'll give you a couple minutes.
Back.
Let's do it.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
All right.
While Lucas is away. Oh, Lucas is back.
He's away again. All right, let's do news for a sec. We'll get Lucas back in here once he tries.
Let's do a story about news, Jack. I want to go all the way down here to Manus AI's Instagram connector because this was exciting for me. Manus has released an Instagram connector that allows users to publish posts, stories, and reels. You know, I think this was perhaps an expected integration because obviously Manus is owned by Meta now. But I wasn't so sure that it would give us the capabilities for wiring up and growing multiple accounts inside organically, like actually Jake Castillo was talking with us about yesterday. I found this to be really exciting. And I wonder who's going to fully deploy it in its maximum capabilities. What did you think of this when you saw it, Colin?
That's not even the most interesting part of that screenshot, and I am shocked that you don't see it.
I missed it.
If you pull it up again, the most interesting part of this entire screenshot. Do you see it?
No.
Meta Ads Manager Beta is going to connect directly to Manus, so that's why Claude is being bullied out and is not being allowed to enter because Meta Ads now is going to live entirely with Manus. So now you can kind of see the future of how this is all going to play out. It's in the beta, so obviously Meta is going to say, absolutely not. None of your Claude is going to work in here. We're beta testing this out. We want this to be fully fledged. We also want to own this entire thing, so no other LLM is going to be allowed to do this other than Manus. And so as you're seeing this more fleshed out, you're seeing these LLM wars bake out over serious territory for APIs and connections. This is a huge one. So basically what's going to happen is Meta's going to say, hey, no other LLM is going to be able to connect to Meta Ads Manager. That is a huge, huge line in the sand.
Okay, it is, but that's old news. I've known about that for a long time, Colin. I've known about it for a long time.
I'm saying that's a bigger thing that they're releasing and pushing the beta very aggressively inside everything. I thought it would be more fun than it is. Whatever.
It is. No, it is a big deal. And I do think that this is a
Huge.
big reason why they're trying to box Claude out, and maybe they're going ham on, hey, you didn't create the right app and you're not using it the right way. And so people are getting their counts cut from the knees, out from under them. I do think that's the bigger story. That's the bigger story. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. You know, I still haven't used Manus. I'm just not convinced. I know there's a lot of capabilities, but I'm just not
Rabba
convinced.
swears by it.
Rabba does. He does swear by it. We should bring him back on and have him talk about it. But I am more interested. I'm more interested right now in what Manus can do for a myriad of like 20 plus accounts that are automating content.
This is what I would then ask you. What happens to all of the scheduling third-party apps? Are those then going to be pushed out? And Meta's going to say, actually, no, you got to use Manus. Sorry about this. This connection's no longer valid. So then you play this out over everything that they own. It gets pretty overwhelming pretty quick.
I mean, that's a good point. And it'd be interesting to see what happens to the buffers of the world, you know.
Exactly.
Mark could definitely do that. The Lord Zuck can do what he wants.
Buffer them out. Buffer them out of existence.
He can give him the Heisman if he wants to, but we've got Lucas back with us. Let's see how this internet is doing now. Lucas is on. Get in here. Get in this show.
All right, we're good.
We're good, baby. We're good.
Let's go.
How you guys doing?
Lucas, doing great, man. We're doing even better now that you are here, brother. And man, I've been seeing you from afar, but not knowing all of your background and all that you're working on now. I consider you to be a bit of a renaissance man in that you've done software, hardware, VC, sourcing deals, all these things. You've done D2C, and now you're doing what you do with Happy Labs. But it looks to me like the approach to building and scaling D2C brands with Happy Labs is a little bit different than maybe just a traditional agency or a traditional kind of VC-backed startup. Tell us what is going on at Happy Labs, and just give us perspective on what you're doing there from a foundational level.
Yeah, no, appreciate hopping on the show. But naturally, a lot of things I've done is just based off curiosity more than anything. And going into Happy Labs, I wanted it to be a machine that allows me to just kind of go deeper into what I'm thinking about, what I want to work on, what's interesting in the space of D2C, or more so consumer. So initially, I was really fascinated by Tab's Chocolate, which Oliver Mercado, he scaled horizontally with a bunch of UGC creators to, I believe, 11 or 18 million ARR in, I think, 18 months. And their gross margin was disgusting, apparently. Wow. It was like so good. And naturally, the space of paid is just only getting more expensive. Yeah. So I was always going from the angle of like, paid is just getting more expensive and organic is only going to be more prevalent in the future, where brands need to be scaling on organic. May it be UGC, AI content, clipping, faceless, static slideshows, you name it. Like, there has to be a way for you to scale efficiently and effectively while also without like just burning your pockets. Because right now I'm working in for Knox specifically, the whole crux of it was to be very viral on like social media and also be prepared for retail. And we've been D2C for the most part. We're in a few retailers, but the whole game is just attention eyeballs. And that's how I've thought of just social media or consumer in general for the past 2 years. And I'm working on Noct, and I'm also building infrastructure. I built Noct product first with the understanding of like distribution and play. But now I'm almost shifting towards like a distribution first model where like I'm building the infrastructure to catapult anything forward. So maybe clipping, maybe UGC, maybe TikTok shop. Like I'm building the powerhouse so that you can kind of just plug in any product and just like blow it up out of the water. And yeah, I mean, like you could scale, like if you do that with paid acquisition, your CAC just lowers immensely and you're just able to grow more profitably. Because I have friends that have raised like tens of millions of dollars and they're looking at like 3 to 6 month CAC or payback. And then like, God willing, your retention is going to hold up. But like,
Yeah.
be day one profitable. That's fucking great. Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
It's insane. Like it's just, it's a bloodbath on paid acquisition. So like I'm paying someone over here like $800 to produce 60 videos. And then we're getting like a 25x on return on that money. And like, and it's just a game of like virality, but also conversion. So like the best viral brands are like TikTok shop brands because they understand direct response marketing. But then like you look at the consumer app space and like they know how to go just blow anything up from viral lens. So like going back to the Renaissance, like I like to study all different angles and like see how everyone's doing it, from drop shippers to consumer app founders to e-com bros scaling on paid ads. So yeah, that's kind of how I've been thinking about Happy Lab. So we focus on knock to start, focus more distribution, and like as far as like what other businesses, we're figuring that out. But yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff, and it's been very profitable. So just
that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, just from what I'm hearing, Chris, this is echoing a ton of trends that we've been seeing in the space right now. I think it's really interesting also what you're doing with Knock as well, where you are changing the form factor. You're making it really accessible for folks, which is half of the battle, you know? Like a lot of the times I'll bring up Create Gummy, where they basically changed the form factor of creatine, made it more accessible, made it easier. I see you guys being able to, you know, sleep, that trend of sleep, how it's exploded over the past, you know, year, 2 years with the Brian Johnsons of the world, the Andrew Hubermans of the world. I see you guys kind of fitting in there with these high performance athletes. Are you trying to think of it that way? Or are you just saying, hey, we're getting everybody?
So I was a D1 rower in college and I do triathlons for fun. And I thought it was going to be for like people in their 20s, 30s, early 40s, maybe that are like super out there, like just getting after it, optimizing their sleep, waking up early to just grind. And it's for literally like 55+-year-old people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's your demo. I think that's actually your target demo.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
that's
like
awesome. That's awesome.
We're running like Facebook organic like plays and stuff. Like it's very much like it's a different approach to a lot of like things you see in different areas where you could do it differently. But
sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. So like I would want it to be for athletes, and there is a niche for that for sure. And we do have a subset, like we sell in the feed and we do very well there. And it's just like, I think naturally the old people, they got to sleep.
Old people can't sleep and they have to. Okay. Tell us about this, because you've got this background. You've been watching what Oliver did with tabs. You're setting up this infrastructure for virality via organic to cut down on the bloodbath of paid acquisition. And talk to us about putting that playbook in with an unexpected demo. It's with mom and it's with grandma rather than with the 23-year-old yoga instructor that probably looks gorgeous on screen, but isn't your ultimate buyer. Talk to us about that delta and how you've been navigating that strategy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just testing and iterating. Like, we were doing, I don't know if you know Cali-I, like their whole CPM strategy, where like you work with influencers, like on a fitness influencers for like, we'll pay you $2 to $3 CPM and you'll make $3,000 from this video if you hit it out of the park, or we pay you nothing, or we'll pay you like $30 or something. Like we've tested everything, but like right now AI content, not to be the one in the room, but like AI UGC is crushing. It's very, like, I'm saying like it's converting at like a 0.5% to 1% on a video lens. So You get like 400,000 views, you're getting $40,000 potentially from that video.
My.
Yeah.
Wow.
My. And
So
I I think a point that a lot of people have brought up too is like, hey, maybe sometimes you can tell, maybe sometimes you can. I do think the tech that I've seen, it just keeps getting better and better. But especially who cannot tell is grandma. Grandma cannot tell.
Yeah.
Grandma needs to sleep, and
Yeah.
she's getting to win some. She's getting to win some video here that's explaining her problem and the solution. So that makes sense.
we're just helping people sleep at night. We're telling them to we're providing value to the marketplace.
Absolutely.
Nice.
That is really interesting. Yeah, I mean, tell me this. Why is sleep so hot? Because I've seen this. I mean, it's sleep. I've seen a number of products that have been coming out now. I know everybody's into just optimizing their health, et cetera, but are there any other macro trends that speak to you why sleep is all of a sudden like a hot category that there's significant opportunity in?
Well, I think it's just there's a lot of just studies coming out about like productivity and sleep. And I think it's also much more tied to the younger demographic that like wants to be hyper focused or hyper productive. So I think there is like that macro trend of like the biohackers that are looking to like optimize. But it's like we also live in this sphere of like the Twitter world where it's only 10,000 or a few thousand people versus like the average Joe from Idaho that is 55 years old that is like your body produces less melatonin over time. So like you actually need something to help you fall asleep at night. So I think there's a more of a micro trend than anything.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, 2026 just started, kind of. We're a little bit through it now. What's on like the frontier for you guys? How are you guys kind of approaching the rest of this year? What's some big goals that you guys want to knock off? And how are you guys kind of seeing the rest of this year play out for the brand?
Yeah, so I think sleep is a very tough category. It's very black or white. I was talking to a friend earlier today, like anything with a physiological like expectation or effect, like it's going to be tough to compete in that market. Because like you're either going to feel it or you're not. Naturally, like we are a melatonin product, so like melatonin like works. But I think continuing to build out the creative infrastructure, the flywheel where we're generating tens of millions to even billions of views on a monthly basis. Because like if you can do that, you can scale very profitably and very far. And there's many brands that are getting to like 8 figures a month range by just organic alone. Like you could look at Base Body Works is a great example. They have like a TikTok shop live that's 24/7 and they're just absolutely crushing on it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like, I think TikTok shop live is like a very, like, it's not even slept on. It's just like, you need the infrastructure in place to get that going. But I think that's just like one trend of many, and just trying to continue to build out the infrastructure. We're not posting like 100 times a day, but maybe 1,000 times a day or tens of thousands. Like look at Comfort. Comfort's posting, I think, 15,000 or 30,000 times a month or something. It's
crazy.
It's insane. So, and I keep going back to it. It's like Alex Hormozy has a quote. It's like, do so much volume that it's impossible for you to not succeed. And that's just like, that's it. It's just a volume game.
Well, that's why we're on this show every day, Lucas, because we're trying to be the embodiment of that volume. Yeah. Give me this perspective. I think you are, I don't want to say non-typical, but you do stick out to me as having been a software engineer who is now, launching a consumer product. A lot of times those two sides of the brain don't necessarily end up in the same place. Now, what does that background in software and engineering, what has that brought to the table for you that has been a help? Lessons wise, data wise, processes wise, is there anything that it's a superpower of sorts that helps you in building Noct and what you have coming in the future?
I mean, I think I'm just a jack of all trades, a master of none. I was like a hacker when I was a kid. So naturally, I studied computer science in college. So that was also naturally like my first job out of college. But then I went very quickly like product roles because I just hated the work I was doing and I just didn't enjoy it. Like I don't really like coding per se, but like it's very aligned with my interests. But I've always been much more product design like minded. So I just like to see things from all different perspectives because like knowing one way is knowing no way. So that's why I like to like just dabble into everything and like kind of read the room and see how other people are doing things.
Knowing one way is knowing no way. Bars for you, Lucas. I see you.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I am so bullish on what you're building, especially with the form factor, and you're kind of baking out exactly my theory for the successful founder moving forward, and I think you're also super passionate about it. Do you see any other brands kind of in this space that you're friends with that you're like, these guys are also going to crush a ton as well, that you're just kind of you're friends with, maybe not competition, but you're seeing them on the way up and talking with them as well?
I think anyone that's just really focused on organic versus like paid, I think that's just the future. We're only going to be more on social media. Like campaigns are being moved by social media now. It's just like this is the future, and like being able to grab attention and drive eyeballs to a sale is like the biggest power that you can have, because paid acquisition is only going to get more expensive and Zuck is only going to just pull the levers to get more margin. So
that's right.
That's the game.
That's right. That's the game, and he owns the land that we're playing on.
Exactly.
Well, Lucas, man, we appreciate you joining the show and giving us the inside look on what's happening. Man, I'm excited to hear more about the infrastructure that you're building on the organic side and what other products you might be able to put inside of that infrastructure you're building. Man, where should people find Noct? Where should they follow you? Give us 30 seconds on that before we go so we can stay up to date.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time. This is actually the first like live thing I've ever done.
First of many.
Yeah, first of many. If you need help sleeping, go to trynoct.com. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Hazan0608. It's HAZAN 0608. But
awesome.
Appreciate the time.
We appreciate you, man. We look forward to having you back, brother.
All right, guys. Take care.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Very nice.
Very exciting. You know, it's interesting. I mean, gummies, you know, everybody gummies has been proven. Hey,
huge.
You can launch a successful gummy, then there's plenty of dollars to be made. I think we all wish that we would have launched a gummy some odd years ago and had a successful subscription attached to it. So he's definitely in the right wins. And you know, if he can build that kind of organic infrastructure around a la Oliver Mercado, I think he's going to be set up for success, a la Jake Castillo. I mean, you know, I think this is a great example of the next generation, or what you might say is the current younger generation of marketers and builders in our space, just taking things to the next level. People like me are still just thinking like, I need to make better meta ads, which we do. We all do. But there's also a new way to grow and successfully scale brands. And some people are figuring it out, especially those younger among us.
It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see this.
Amazing to see it. We've got an interesting story coming up, and then Carson Dimond is going to be joining us. But before we do, let's talk about Seguno, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, Seguno is the only marketing suite, guys, that lives entirely inside of Shopify. Why is that important? It means your emails and your revenues and your banner, your reviews and your banners, all of that. It already lives in the place that you already work and play in, and you don't have to trust some duct tape together integration to successfully sync your data. Your Shopify data is your data. This is email 3.0, okay? And this is a big reason why they won 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. Not synced, not integrated, but living in your Shopify dashboard data that you can trust. One-click automations, actual humans that can help you. Go to Seguno.com. They'll give you a free trial. You tell them, Colin and I sent you, that'll extend that free trial to 30 days. Go to Seguno, make it happen. If you don't have a full-time email marketer on your team, Seguno is built for you. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Before Carson comes in here, Colin, we should talk about Talk Shop Live. Have you ever heard of Talk Shop Live?
No.
Okay, you should. And the reason that you should is that Talk Shop Live, they've actually been around since 2018. Who knew? Okay, they're not newbies, but what they do is they enable you to live stream on your Shopify website. You can live sell directly on your Shopify website, and not only on the other platforms like TikTok Shop, whatnot, etc. Okay, what their CEO had to say is particularly interesting. And it's the lead story for this entire show. It's that live shoppers will spend 20 to 30% more than people who are not purchasing while you're live selling. Your standard e-commerce purchase, what, you can bump that by a third if you can get people to listen to you and actively buy while you are live selling. Average order value, I'm reading, this is a story that comes to us from Retail Brew. I want to read some of this to you because I think it is important. The average order value in live shopping is 20 to 30% higher than traditional e-commerce. Sandy Hawkins, new CEO at Talk Shop Live, points out. One of live shopping's biggest platforms, founded in 2018. They've been in this. Sandy brings 20 years of experience to this. And I found some of her points here to be very significant, especially because you can take it to Shopify and live stream, live sell directly on your website. Question here, what's the average order value for live shopping? Let's get it straight from the horse's mouth. We're seeing the average order value is 20 to 30% higher than just regular e-commerce shopping. When the audience is involved, they are buying. When the audience is involved, they are buying. Actually, Lucas was just mentioning these points, and that's the power of live shopping. It's somebody telling you about a product, and now you have this urge that you need to check out now. There is inherent urgency. Live shopping also captures somebody at any point in the purchase cycle. They could be learning about a brand for the first time. Information they're seeing during the live inspires them to buy. They could be a loyal brand customer. Maybe during the live, you're talking about a new color or a new shade. You say, oh my gosh, I need this now. And you buy it. And that's why we're seeing the larger average order size through live shopping. This is a compression of the funnel. And I am so bullish on live shopping as an anti-AI bet, especially with this data, with a 20 to 30% higher average order value. Lucas was just on here mentioning that one brand who is 24 hours live selling. This makes me so excited. And I'm glad that I'm discovering these people. I haven't known that they existed over the past 8 years. What are your thoughts on this, Colin?
I mean, it's unreal. I think one of the big things that live shopping is also doing is it's building trust at a very accelerated rate. So you are understanding exactly who is behind the brand. You're seeing the humans behind the brand actually working on the brand, and then your objection handling live in all of that as you're going live. It's a really interesting thing that you're basically compressing the sales cycle, but this is a tried and true path. This is basically QVC 2.0, 3.0. So, our parents were buying from QVC and all of those things late at night. And now we see the new renaissance of that in a different format for the Shopify brands.
I think also, I totally agree with the building of trust. There is
Yeah.
a live person who is talking in front of you. They're showing the widget off. They're talking about it, stories, benefits, features, using it in front of you. So there is that human element where people, and I would say it's live too. So there is like an inherent kind
Yeah.
of trust factor. If you like this person, if they're speaking to you while they talk about it, then that's poignant and it's powerful.
Yeah.
A couple of points here. The Harmon brothers, who infamously have made so many viral ads that we all know and
Yeah.
love and still reference as case studies, they're one of their first points is that if you have not sold your product live, in person, in real life, in front of actual people, you don't know how to sell your product. And I think this is very powerful, especially for those of us who, we've made our career selling things digitally, and maybe it's a little scary to think about getting on camera and risking your face. Salespeople risk their face all of the time. Marketers don't. Marketers don't risk their face. They sit behind a keyboard and they talk about how many people are filling up their inbox and reaching out to them to sell things. Okay, that's not risking your face. What's risking your face is actually getting live on camera or getting in real life and in front of actual people and trying to sell your widget. That's where there's risk, but there's also reward, huh? I mean, who doesn't want to increase their order value by 30%? I mean, that's powerful.
Absolutely.
And this speaks so much to what BattleBox is doing and how they found a way on Whatnot. And to come to find out, one can bring that experience directly to Shopify. I love it.
Every single brand is going to need their own personal Billy Mays.
That's correct. That is correct.
There you go. It's
time. It's time.
It's time.
It's time to bring a Billy Mays in-house, or dear marketer, you become the Billy Mays. You do it.
True.
You do it.
True.
I mean, that's what I loved about the BattleBox interview when we had them on and John came on, and they had some talent that just wasn't able to make it and host the show. Yeah. What do? They jump in there and host it themselves. I think there's a ton of opportunity here, and I wish I had the time to just capitalize on it. Maybe I should make the time. I want to become a live seller. I do.
Try it out.
Do. I should try
feedback. You'll get feedback right away.
I'll get feedback. Maybe let me jump in first and risk my face.
Yeah.
How about that? That's
the feedback loop is almost immediate with live shopping, so you'll find out if it's for you.
I was watching a Whatnot guy too just a few nights ago, and he had such a great cadence. He'd be bringing things out. He'd say, "I want to see W's in the chat. W's.
Yeah.
And people are just they're just filling up the chat.
You know my favorite. You know who my favorite guy is?
Who's your favorite?
Do you know the LG sign guy?
No. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yes, he is my absolute favorite. He crushes. It's a great example of a guy who is just so good on camera, so funny, so human, and just it's awesome. Any brand listening, go check out what they're doing and put a little bit of that in your playbook because it's awesome.
Little sauce playbook.
Yeah,
it's time to take it away. I mean, everybody's got to make AI bets, but we got to make some anti-AI bets too. I think it's only necessary. Okay, before Carson comes in here, we need to talk about AMP, ladies and gentlemen. AMP, if you don't know how your business is doing, if you can't tell me in a sentence or two, what's your CAC? What is your 60-day LTV? How are you trending toward forecast, up, down, left, right? If you can't answer those questions concisely, I'm not sure you know how your business is doing. And don't you want to scale with confidence in 2026? Of course you do. That's why you need AMP and their platform and their favorite tool of mine, Lifetimely. It allows you to answer all of those questions concisely, all in one easy place and space. Good news is if you get Lifetime, you get all of their other tools for free. It's perfect for board level reporting. And what they're doing with their AI, very soon, it's going to be prompting it instead of you prompting. It's going to be prompting you instead of you prompting it. This is going to be a huge unlock for adding more profit inside of your P&L. Go to useamp.com. Get on that platform today. We're going to have CEO Patrick Barnes on the show very soon to talk about this upcoming announcement. Many thanks for AMP being part of the show. Now, we have a knower of ball coming inside of this show right now. And I would say he has a unique perspective on e-com and D2C that literally nobody else has. And I say I say that because this guy, I mean, he lives and works inside the belly of the beast. You know, we all know all of the sexy D2C darlings and how they're doing, but this guy actually sees the inside of all of these businesses. And not that he's got bad things to say, but he's just got knowledge, is what I'm saying. And he is the man to talk to when you need to find top tier talent to scale your biz up and to the right. I am talking about the one and only Carson Dimond. Carson, get in here. Get inside of this show, Carson.
What's going on?
What's going on? Jack, we've got the wrong label. We got to get Carson's label on here, Jack. There we go. There we go. Carson, good to see you, brother. Now we had an argument, a slight argument here. Colin and I did. I said it's Dimond. He said it's Dimond. And I want to say it the right way. I mean, would you settle this once and for all for us?
Yeah, it is Diamond Connect. I always tell people I spell it without the A because I can't afford it.
Oh, you surely can now. You surely can now, Carson. I know you are hooking up every. Right? Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. We appreciate you making the time and coming on here. We know that when it comes to finding heads, when it comes to finding elite talent to get inside of the biz, you are the person to talk to. Man, what does the e-commerce hiring landscape look like right now? What roles are the hardest to fill? What's most in demand? Give us some perspective on that, just industry wide.
For sure. Well, thanks for having me on, first of all. But yeah, we'll dive right into it. You know, the e-commerce space in terms of recruiting is still booming. Brands are still hiring every day. Obviously, you know, you have your head of performance marketing, really overseeing paid and creative. Every brand still hiring that today. Creative strategist. Not only are they hiring one, but a lot of brands are now willing to hire 2 or 3. You know, that agencies on board. Oh, creative strategist has been the most in-demand role right now.
Really?
That's what I would say. Yeah. Yeah. And then head of TikTok shop, you know, a lot of brands are bringing those on. You know, it's a very in-demand role as well. I would say something I'm seeing right now is from a creator standpoint, a lot of brands right now we're working on, we're hiring comedians to be like new UGC creators. We're bringing on comedians to like make content, street interviews, skits. Like they're hilarious. And they're more organic. So there's a lot of things in the e-com landscape we can get into.
Wow. I'm so surprised.
Yeah, that reminds me of Wendy's. Do you remember when Wendy's made that huge splash when they hired comedians to write their tweets? And everybody was like, this is insane. This won't work out. You have 5 comedians writing tweets, and it just exploded them. That's awesome to see that it's shifting to direct to consumer now. I mean, that's just incredible.
For sure. I mean, like UGC creators were the hot commodity for a while. And then now every brand's like, we need to get more creative. And so that's what we're seeing right now is like some of them are willing to bring on some comedians and let them run. They bring a different perspective. They don't really know e-com, so they already have a different way of advertising. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
You know, Carson, I find it interesting in the same vein, and I would assume that this is coming from, you know, the Andromeda update. Creative diversity is, you know, it's the game. We all have to have it. We all need it. I'm shocked that there are multiple creative strategists inside of businesses. I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking 12 months ago, but I would think multiple creative strategists is like we cannot coexist inside of the business. But this is a trend. This is a trend now.
Yeah. It's very interesting. You know, you think about they're doing the same thing. How do they collab together rather than collide? But really, the way companies are set up, they can make it happen. Some are maybe more focused on static. Some are maybe more focused on video. Like it's different, but creative strategies is just the new hot role. You know, we also see right now, if you hire someone that's a copywriter who's just really good with their words, they can end up being a really good creative strategist. Since that's what it is. You have to get creative right now. I'm being a creative strategist, trying to hire creative strategists to get creative. It's very unique. But yeah, they have maybe a few people in house. They have agencies. They might have a freelancer. Every client's really trying to ramp up creative, as you all both know.
That is so interesting. I mean, Colin, do you remember when we had Jess from Fire Team on the show?
Yep.
And Johnny Hickey mentioned this as well. Mentioned having
Absolutely.
multiple brands multiple agencies inside the same account. And now Carson is bringing up here multiple strategists on the same company, hiring creators, multiple creators. I mean, this is a powerful trend that I think is really coming to the top of the surface here. It's very interesting.
And they also want them to compete with each other. I think they want like a friendly competition, right? It motivates everyone.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's very unique.
Wow. God, I would not. I swear I would not have pegged that 12 months ago. If you would have told me that that's how this is baking out, I would be like, no, there's no shot this is how this is baking out. That's unreal. This is a bit of a longer question where you have seen a ton of companies start, scale up, go through the hiring process, and then eventually be very successful. Do you have a pattern or a framework that you can then give to companies and say, this is the tiers and this is the structure you should take when hiring? This is the best process. It should start with this person here. It should start with this person after that. You should start with this person after that. And then I promise you'll get to 9 figures or 8 figures or whatever.
Yeah, good question, man. I would say it's a few things. I think first and foremost is like, you have to put time into recruiting, and you have to have a good recruiting process, and you have to have everyone on board, because you put a little bit of time up front and it'll save you a lot of time down the line. And I think that's the challenging thing, is you need these positions tomorrow, but it does take a little bit of time, right? So I think a few things that I'm seeing right now that's working well is this, right? Like, we're seeing these companies that are building, let's just say 5, 10, 15, 20 million. They're starting to now hire for their weaknesses. They're starting to now think, okay, we need a lot of positions, but like, what is the most important role? What is the main thing? What do I need today? And then start building it from there. And so I think that's important, is like the roadmap that we're seeing well. I think a thing we're seeing is speed right now in recruiting is a huge advantage. Companies, can get missed out on candidates if they don't move quickly. And so I think that's where that recruiting process comes in. Another hack that I'm seeing right now with companies that are doing recruiting really well is they're having projects like right after the first interview, instead of having projects like after 4 or 5 interviews, you give a project. If you do interview with the owner or hiring manager, project right then, see how they think, and then bam, another interview offer. I would say that's well.
That's interesting.
It's interesting. I think the last thing is, nowadays, like, resumes matter, but it's more about the proof of what they've done. They care about evidence. They care about what they can actually take credibility from, and they care about sort of the scrappiness that they have on them. Like, I see people that have come from these top brands and performed really well, but I've also seen people who the client has given a chance. They maybe come from like a lean company that you might have not heard of, but they are just as talented. And so I think nowadays clients are being very particular, but are also giving people chances, that meet maybe 80 or 90% of what they need. That other 10 to 20% is built in the company, and they give people a chance, and it's been working out well.
Wow, that's great.
Wow.
That's great. Hey, give me some perspective on this, Carson. I'm sure that you have run into this, but I have seen numerous companies, 8 figures, deep into 8 figures, doing very well, will not use a recruiter. Just will not do it.
Fair.
Because it's, we're going to waste money, and we know better. And actually, a lot of times they don't. And the hire may not go very well. What's the hesitancy? I mean, have you run into that? And if so, like, what is that kind of mountain to get over with people? Why will they not use a recruiter?
Yeah, it's a good question. Some of them are skeptical. Some of them have had bad experiences, maybe from a comp level, like they'd rather
Okay.
put money towards marketing.
I
But
see.
I've had clients that have said I don't partner with recruiters, and then they've had the job open for like 8 months. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, and then it's like that time of not having that person in on board, is costing you money,
yeah, it
potentially
is.
a lot more than what the recruiter fee is. And so I understand it, I get it, but there's a lot of clients that are willing to use recruiters, and they're much further ahead. And so yeah, recruiting takes time, it takes effort. It's like when if your car is broken, you could go to the shop and fix it, or you could learn YouTube. You could try to fix it yourself. It's just like time is valuable, and so these
Yeah,
companies are willing to use some recruiter at some point.
that makes a lot of sense.
Carson, jumping off of comp, what you just talked about, who in e-commerce is getting the bag right now? If you could do a top 3 positions where there's a kid listening, he's just graduating college, he
Good
wants to get
question.
into e-commerce, and he's saying, Carson, I want to get the bag when I eventually go through this career. Where are those top 3 positions?
Yeah, that's huge. I would say, what is creative strategist? Like right now, if you're a creative strategist that's performing well, can back it up, can have some actual stories of what you've done. Creative strategist can make between 130 to 150 pretty easy.
Okay.
If you're like director level, you can
Yeah.
make 170 to 200 plus. They also get paid a bag on performance bonuses if that's what they can negotiate in there. And the right person will want a performance bonus.
Right.
You can easily make 200, 230K plus as a really
Lovely.
good creative strategist. TikTok shop, I mean, it's pretty wild. But we just made an offer to a head of TikTok shop person. This is on the higher side, but she got offered 235 base. Yeah, like pretty high. Most of them are not 235, but a good head of TikTok shop right now can make 150 to 175.
Wow.
And then they can incentivize something based on GMV. And I think a pretty simple one as a college student, maybe who's good at design. If you're a good graphic designer and can shove up landing page designs, emails, paid ads, like you can easily make 3 years, 4 years of experience, 120K plus.
Love it.
So it's like I would definitely recommend that.
That's great perspective. And tell me, as you are finding the best talent out there and bringing them into the businesses that you work with, brother, what makes a dog hire that you just know this guy or this girl's going to get in here and eat it up? She should be owning this company. What makes a dog hire? How do you know just when it's going to work?
Yeah, that's what we refer to. When we have a candidate that is there's just something about them that makes a dog, we will tell our client that. And we don't use dog lightly, right? Like if we have a dog, we're going to tell you have a dog. And if we don't have a dog, then like we'll just tell you why we like them. I think a few things. One, I think these dog hires, from a skill set wise, they have the right skill set, but from a personality wise, they are very curious. They think like an entrepreneur. They are very scrappy. They don't have an ego. They're very hungry. And they have that mindset of like, I want to build this with you rather than build this for you. So incentivize me from comp, but also other aspects. And they just kind of have that extra sort of energy when they show up every day. I would say that kind of makes a dog hire. I think also when they think like an owner, right? Like when they really have that mindset of what's actually going to perform, what is the main thing, how do we win? When they ask a lot of questions, it's I would say those little traits really kind of make a dog hire. And then lastly, I think these dog hires are able to explain what they've done rather than like, hey, here's what I can do for you. It's like, no, here's what I've done at my last 2 companies. Yeah. Here's how I built them from 5 to 20 million. Here's actually what I did. I think that's sort of what these candidates are doing well. to us recruiters is they make it easy for us to sell it to our clients rather than just kind of going around and being super vague. So I would say that.
Wow. That's good.
That's really good. I'm
Yeah.
seeing this through line right now across the industry where I think people are pushing back against passion and pushing more and leaning more into curiosity. I mean, we just had 2 folks on the show that just talked about curiosity very aggressively. And I think that's a standout kind of metric and kind of like, oh, they say curiosity, my feelers kind of go up and to the right, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? This is really interesting. I totally resonate with that.
Yeah, like I listened to My First Million, Sean Purry, and he brings on, I think you all brought on someone from Cal, but he brings all these like scrappy entrepreneurs, and they're all curious, and they're all, they're all scrappy, and they're all hungry, and they just ask so many questions. So I learned a lot from him, and I take these things when I recruit people and interview people. I ask the why about things, and I'm always curious to see what they say.
Yeah,
man, tell us this, because you are, working in sourcing talent. I feel like you have unique perspective on just e-com in general that a lot of us don't. We're thinking about numbers or thinking about product, blah, 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 blah. And having the knowledge perspective that you have, being inside the belly of the beast, so to speak, man, what does anything come up that would be surprising to a lot of us? One that always comes to my mind is I feel like this gets confirmed to me again and again. At the end of the day, there are almost like no real adults. We're all just kind of like figuring it out, and we all like at some level kind of don't know what we're doing. And every company is like kind of handling its own stuff and its own mess. It's like every company has a bit of a messy kitchen. That's maybe some preconceived notion I have. But is there anything that comes to mind that would like surprise us to know, or be encouraging, or just something that would be helpful to the market in general?
I think, man, it's a good question. I think there's a lot of things. I think comp wise, like I get every company wants to bring on the right person for the right price. It's a very in demand sort of recruiting space right now. And so you do have to pay, for top talent. And I think they need to really get creative on like bonus structures or equity and other incentives. I think the most important thing is, which sometimes you don't have to recruit as much, is if you can help retain, right? Like retaining really good e-commerce talent is challenging nowadays, right? Like it's a very niche space, and people poach from here and they go to here. Everyone's kind of picking each other up. And so I think the biggest advice that I have to entrepreneurs is just recognize your employees and reward your employees, right? The 2 R's. It's not always about comp, but it's like people like when they are appreciated. And then if you do something, awesome, like tell them, or just really show that you value them, right?
Yeah.
On the recognizing side. And then on the compensation, like, really, really make sure these people are motivated, because other companies are willing to pay back, as you said. And they invest, right? Like recruiting is an investment. It really is.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I would say that.
That's good, man. That's good. And it's a fair point. Really is a fair point that in some sense, e-com is a kind of a small world. And, I've heard a little some disparaging comments out there when you leave too early, but hey man, if somebody's willing to recognize and reward more than you are, I mean, it just, it only makes sense. That's a good point about getting creative there on the compensation side as well.
I mean, like recruiting right now is like, it comes from a few ways. It's like, you get it through a referral, you get it through a recruiter, you get it through just, networking you have. Like it's a very, it's pretty simple in terms of how you get people. And if you're not building your personal brand, and if you're not putting yourself out there, like you might need to, get creative on how you're going to, approach these top talents. Right. So like the best employees are not really applying. And it makes sense. They're too busy working on what they're doing. So you really do have to get creative on how you poach people nowadays.
That's
so true. It's so true though. Yeah.
So true. Carson, man, we appreciate you making the time and coming on the show, my friend. Tell us this. You got to tell us before you go. And if somebody knows that they need some help and maybe they've been going it alone and not finding the right people, or they fired the last 2 or 3 people that they got on their own, that they want to work with you, they want to talk with you, man, where do they go? What do they do?
Yeah. Diamond Connect, like I said, no A in Diamond. So diamondconnect.com, Carson Dimond, no A in Diamond on LinkedIn. You have to say it nowadays. Yeah, that's how you can connect with me, book a call. Love to chat. Yeah, super excited to help some other brands out. We have a lot of success stories they can see. But yeah, and last thing, man, thanks for having me on. You remind me of like Theo Vaughn and Caleb Preston.
All right.
That's our second comparison. That's our second comparison with Theo Vaughn. That's awesome.
We've got Theo Vaughn before.
Do you know him?
Oh yeah, Caleb Presley's hilarious.
I think you should have someone else on that's just like eating these like CPG brands, like them just like eating Grooms or like Armra or Yellow, all these like DVC brands, just eating them, making people laugh, and they can pay for sponsorship.
That's right. That's right. We need to get some cowboy colostrum on here and have somebody eat some ice cream made of cowboy colostrum. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on. We look forward to having you back, and everybody needs to go and work with you, man. Carson Dimond, man. You know, there are so many. Don't forgive me for saying this. There are so many like young, hungry killers that are just crushing. And I'm not saying, Carson, that you're young, but I'm just saying, like, brother, you're crushing. That's what I'm saying. Younger than me and on it and owning the space. That's what I mean. Man, he is just such a great example of just like the entrepreneurial like lifeblood in Gen Z and earlier millennial kind of category. Man, I love what he's doing. He's got such a fresh take on all of this. It's very interesting.
Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up here and send everyone away for the weekend, let's just hit just a couple of more stories. I've got one that I want to show you, particularly that I think you will love. And I am talking about this recent tweet from Mark Andreessen that I know you are going to appreciate. He is retweeting a new video from Heavy Pulp, who I have shown you before.
Love it.
Internet is going to end us. You remember this? You remember the song that was addictive that you loved?
Oh, yeah.
Mark Andreessen listened to this new one and said that this is like the best thing that I have ever heard. Yeah, I mean it's got a great. I mean, it's so good.
Anti-Clanker Club is crazy.
Okay, Jack, you can turn off the volume, Jack. Everything is computer, but computer isn't everything.
Is Anti-Clanker Club trademarked yet? Because
Let's look it up.
That is gold. That is liquid gold. If anyone hasn't trademarked that.
Anti-Clanker Club. There is an _clanker social handle on Instagram. I wonder if the domain is taken, because I feel like we should buy this thing if it's not taken.
Oh my God, this is a scorcher of a domain.
Anti-Clanker Club. Anticlanker.club is available. Anticlankerclub.com is not available.
Yeah, whatever.
You want the .com.
Whatever.
You do want the
That's
.com.
awesome.
But for your weekend, everything is computer, but computer isn't everything.
So good.
And
I love it.
I think you're going to be sent off listening to that, and you're going to have a great weekend because Mark Andreessen recommends it. So,
yeah, what's not to love about Mark Andreessen?
Andreessen Horowitz recommends it. It's probably awesome. Okay, and lastly, this recommendation from Corey Dobbins.
Yeah,
he had a long Slack picture attached to it, but he had this to say yesterday. And of course, we had Andrew Foxwell on. I wanted to highlight this because I think it is very appropriate. I'm going to read it for everybody. Question from Corey Dobbin. Why haven't you joined Foxwell's founders group yet? He inserted a word here to add a little more emphasis that I shall forego right now. If you're in marketing, it's literally the best, most useful group out there. All these channels, plus more, are packed with deep knowledge and advice. Stop thinking, go join it. And then his Slack screenshot here is 2025 sensitive ad creative brand owners ops chapter Toronto conversion rate optimization creative email retention FB beginners blah 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 blah. There's like 50 of them here, and they're all full of messages. And so I just, this is a little bit of an appreciation tweet for Andrew Foxwell and what he's doing at Foxwell Founders. But good on him and good on everybody inside of it. I probably should go apply, see if we can get in there. It's only fair.
Yeah. Just seeing that screenshot from the Slack, I can tell you right now it is worth the value. It's unreal.
I wonder if they've got room for, 2 live stream hosts. Man, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe. I would hope so.
I would hope so. Well, many thanks to Thomas Lalas. I mean, what sauce that guy had. That was a banger interview. It was a banger interview. Sauce on everything. Many thanks to Lucas for telling us about what's going on with Noct and the kind of infrastructure he's looking to develop to put anything inside of that organic machine that can take off. And many thanks to Carson Dimond, the top man for finding e-com killers inside of our space. And many thanks to Incense and Seguno and Postscript and AMP for making this happen. We'll have interviews pushed out all weekend, get you some weekend watches. Why don't you get off screen a little bit, touch some grass. Many thanks for joining the show, and we'll catch you on the other side. We'll be back Monday.